Hey Cheyenne, this is Rob. Just making a little video for your week 4 QA request. So let's get right into it. So we start out here in the outpost. Always fun. Making our way towards your level. I saw that your request details for this post are: when you test the level, please keep in mind that this level is meant to be played in a linear fashion. Noted. This mansion is set up as an escape room, and playing the areas out of order will get you stuck, and the doors will not be able to open. If you must teleport to the level, please use the foyer checkpoint that is located outside the front door. Excellent. Great. Alright, so let's just talk about, I think, the outside here a little bit. I like what you did with the level. I like the trees surrounding it. The one thing I noticed on my other playthrough is I really like what you did with this, like, ice area. I don't know if it was intended to be ice, but I really like if it's ice. It's kind of a different little take on the water area. Very unique looking too. Like, this definitely looks like something that would be outside, and it's not just, you know, an oval shape for the water. Alright, so let's get right into it. I remember your level from last week. I really enjoyed the way that you kind of set up the level as like a puzzle with different riddles. I thought that was a very unique way, like a unique take on the concept. I also like in these other rooms that they're not just like the block mesh gray, you know, the grayscale like textures and materials. I like that you actually did a little bit of coloring in with them and made them look, you know, like an actual room. So I really appreciated that. I also really liked that you did like this gem idea. I thought that was so cool that you did like these colored gems that you had to place here at the end. I really like that you use like these spotlight effects too on the wall to be actually, you know, signify which gem needed to go where. I just thought that was a very interesting and unique way to kind of present the riddle and, you know, have the player, you know, complete the objective. So we got our first little key, our red key. So it says on the wall for those of you watching at home: welcome to the mansion of riddles galore. Earn all 6 keys to open the final door. These gems are lost. You must find 3. Place them here to find the key. I already did that. So we're moving on into this room. The one thing I noticed in my other room. Oh, actually, let me read the text first. So these stairs have fallen, a gap you must close. Snap them in place to see where it goes. I really like how you rhymed all this stuff. You know, it's obviously how a riddle would go, but it's a nice, unique touch and detail that they rhyme in a fun fashion. So obviously, we want to snap these stairs in. The one thing I did notice and maybe would suggest is that there's a material in Unity for this project that's like a interactive gravinal material that just gives the player an idea that they have to interact with an object. Obviously, you're telling them right on the wall, you know, that they need to interact with the stairs, but just being able to kind of see that that's, you know, an interactive object would maybe help the player kind of, you know, guide them in the right direction. All right, so we got the blue key. We're into the next room. I really like what you did with these bookcases. It took me a while to find the pot that was there, but eventually I did. But great detail on the books, though. You know, it definitely looks like a real book with pages and just a nice detail. I also like what you did with the chandeliers and stuff. So the first time I played through this, I had a little bit of trouble placing the pots. Let me read the riddle first. So some of these utensils are out of place. Put them back to open the case. Very straightforward. I like what you did with the stove here, and it definitely kind of signifies, you know, the circles on top. That's where the pots need to go. The only suggestion I would have is that I think the first time I did this, you kind of have to like almost stand off to the side to place. It's kind of working now, but it was definitely I think something that would be a nice design feedback option would be that you'd have like almost like a snappable like purple, you know, or some color like you know, object, like translucent object here that the pot would snap into place. Just because it was kind of confusing for me the first time I did it, as to where I actually had to go and put the pots. But I was able to figure it out, and I know what to do on this run. But just as a little bit of a design suggestion, that's maybe what you could do with the pots and placing them. All right, so we got the purple key. We're on to our next room. Not every chair is sat at the table. Use your gravinal and the key will enable. And see, you did exactly what I was talking about in the last room. In this room, you know, it's almost perfect. Exactly how you made like it's almost a shadow of the chair itself. And then, you know, it gives the player the indicator that that's what they need to do to snap the chair into it. Great concept. Another thing I did notice when I was moving these chairs is that I would have maybe suggested freezing the X, Y, and Z rotation on the chair, just so that way it doesn't flop around too much. Just because it can kind of be frustrating when you're trying to place the chair into place it's kind of flopping all over the place. All right, so we'll go get our green key. Nice feedback system though on the bottom too. It's definitely like a very nice touch that there's so much depth to like what, you know, kind of guiding the player and giving them immediate feedback on the bottom as to what they're actually doing. And see, you did exactly what I was thinking you should do in the pot room, in this room too, with snapping the blocks into place. It's just a great little feature that kind of, you know, lets the player know exactly kind of what they needed to do. The one thing I would suggest though is maybe, even though you're telling the player on the wall to replace the bulbs to fix the light, it's not almost immediately obvious where the bulbs are and where they have to go. Obviously, you know, you're leaning the player into it with these boxes and stuff like that, but I maybe would like to have seen just a little bit like a translucent yellow on the chandelier, just so, you know, the player has like a very clear idea of what they need to do with it. Obviously, you don't want to make it too easy, but another thing I did notice on this though is that it was a little bit hard to try and interact with the chandelier. I think I had to crouch down to actually get it to work, and you know, because I'm up so high on these boxes, I'm almost clipping through the ceiling here. So I would maybe suggest just making the boxes a little bit shorter so that the player's not like too high up, that they're almost clipping through the ceiling and that they can't interact with the chandelier. But otherwise, a great concept though. I love that it lights up too when you're fully done with it. I thought that was a great little touch. All right, so opening the case, we've got our orange key and we're on to the final room. All right, a final test, a final key, return each book to where it's meant to be. So I love what you did in this room. I love the bookcases. I love the detail with the legs on the desk and stuff like that. Obviously, you know, this is a great little way to, you know, guide the player in the right direction, that the book is on top of the bookcase here. And I like that they use like the green light to, you know, kind of let the player know as a visual effect that that's what they needed to find. So I'll jump up and get this one. The one thing I did note in one of my other playthroughs is that because the desk is here, unfortunately, you can completely bypass having to use the block and you can just jump up onto the desk. Not that it's really a problem, it just kind of negates the use of this box. So maybe kind of do something like you did with this one, just for all of them, so that that way the player can't just kind of cheese it and get up on this way. So we'll do our final one. Great job with the bookcase here too, to kind of let the player know that that's what they needed to do and that's where they needed to put the book. Same thing on this side though. The desk just kind of negates the box, but not really a big issue. So did I get all three? I think I got all three, right? Am I blind? Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. So I can open the case now. Perfect. I got the final key. I'm rich. Collect all 6 keys. I really like the feedback system at the bottom, you know, and the objective system at the top. Kind of really, you know, guiding the player as to what they actually need to do. And this door is open here at the end. We're moving on. I would have maybe added a couple more objects just in here to make it, you know, give it a little bit of a feel that this is actually some sort of real room. And I did notice that this wall is just a little bit not connected to that one. Not a big deal, but, you know, just a little detail. I really like the way you did the safe too. The safe looks so cool. You know, very good detail on that. And I got the deed to the mansion. I'm rich. This is great. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed your level. Really enjoyed the puzzles and riddles that you put throughout. I thought that was such a unique experience for you know, a puzzle level. So great job, great detail. You know, great lighting. You know, great job on the various, you know, materials and objects that you created. But thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it, and I've been really appreciating, you know, playing through your level for the past, you know, couple weeks and seeing how far you've come with it. But great job and good luck in the future. And thank you very much.